Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. We're a little late getting started here, but good morning. Good morning, good morning. Giving praises and honor to God for waking us up this morning in our right mind, able body to go out here and be awesome today. Good morning. Good morning. Your life is serious business and only you can live it. So why not start living it now? We're going to stop sharing the screen and I'm going to turn on my camera. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Tia Rodgers. Are you happy to be alive today? I mean, like, God has really blessed us to take this day and do what we're going to do with it. We have been together now for a whole month or some. I don't know. I've been doing it so long, I don't forgot. So as we are wrapping up our last week in July, we're talking about wealth building principles. And I told you that our health is our wealth. Because if we're not taking care of ourselves physically, emotionally, nutritionally, because I still eat some of the wrong foods too, but it's okay. Practice makes perfect. Listen, life isn't perfect. We begin our journey, and no matter what the journey has in store for you. Yesterday evening, it's not like I didn't hear it like it was my first time hearing it, but repetition does something. You hear it, it gets in you. So then to trust yourself. And it's okay to be exactly where you are right now. In training last night, we had a surprise. We had Mr. Eric Worry from GoPro come in and talk to our group about achieving our goals and staying focused and on track. And he shared a story with us of his struggles and getting to where he is. And a statement he said was to take the storms of your life, document them, document the storms of your life so that when you go back, when you move beyond that storm, because everything is temporary, we talked about that, right? So everything's temporary. So once that storm passes and you get to where you are striving to be, you can look back on that moment and see how you overcame, how you faced adversity, how you faced challenges, and still was able to figure out how to keep going and keep moving. And this particular time, hearing that statement, it struck a bell. Maybe it's because where I am in my life right now, I've had many storms and still persevering. And just like many of you, I'm not unique. I'm unique in the sense that I can be me. I can't be you. So I'm my weird, kooky, little weird self, Tia. And you're you, but that doesn't mean that life doesn't happen to us. Our health and wellness is broken down into different categories and or subdivisions. However, one may view it however they are experiencing it, right? So when you look at family, the rules and expectations collectively, as we are problem solving for our individual self as well as for the collective family, our views and perspectives, and our responsibility of the relationship they have with All of the above. Are they comfortable in their role? Do they accept their role? Are they are their expectations something that even they can meet? Are they um, implementing expectations that they haven't even tried? You know, when you look at relationships, right? Our relationships with our family, our coworkers, our community, as well as with our money, often comes out in other relationships as well. And the subdivision categories are, you have a romantic relationship. How's that going? Are you guys being loving and understanding to one another? Are you sharing the finances, or are you having finances together and having secret finances? Um, which I think that you should have finances together in a relationship, and that you still should, although you have finances together, I think you should still have your own personal finances, just to, just in case you want to surprise your boo, and without them knowing, right? So it kind of helps when you don't got to say, oh, well, can I have that money? I don't know. I have difficulty with that, because I don't have a boo, and I never really had to ask anybody about anything about my finances, because I've always been the breadwinner and the person to go get it. So I basically kind of just do what I want. If anyone can relate. And then there's the collective, the willingness to work out a solution to the problem in the relationship. How well is it open communication? Are you honest with one another? Even if the honesty hurts, so that you could get a clear picture. And then how does that impact you? How does it impact your life? In your health? Because we talk about grief, you'll hear me talk about grief, and grief can come in many different ways. And I had this epiphany yesterday, where I had a moment. I have plenty moments, due to my life circumstances, situations, whatever you want to call it. But I had to sit down and think, because I was normal in one aspect, and then I became very sad and shedded some tears in another aspect. And I had to think about it. I really had to kind of grab myself and process really quickly why I went from happy to sad real fast, and why I had to, why was I having these feelings and emotions? Well, I discovered that even when you make decisions in your life that is for your betterment, there is a sense of loss. So as I'm embarking on this journey that I worked very hard to get here, believe it or not, and I'm working hard to maintain it and keep it, going, and remain fresh. They say what happens to you happens for you. So I had to look at my situation, and I realized that in that moment of sadness, I was, having a moment where I wanted to share a little something with my son, or, I have these moments where it just comes on me where I don't know, to me, it's like I feel him. So when I feel him, and I think about the times that we had, it kind of makes me sad sometimes, because I wish he was here so we could poly, because he was my bounce off person. He was my blank canvas to like kind of bouncing things off of. We bounce things off of each other. But then I also look at the fact that I also am grieving the transition in my life, making the decision to say, all right, I'm going to take this business and go full throttle, and just go with it, which means I had to leave my place of employment. And yesterday, when I heard things that happen to you happen for you, I had to think, had to stop and think. And I had to say, well, God, I thank you. I thank you for that manager that told me 17 years ago that she didn't have time for the people in our title, um, concerns and issues. I thank you for that because I learned how to navigate and work within a system that didn't deem me important. I had to stop and think and say thank you to the co-workers that said that Tia calls out when she doesn't want to do an assignment. Little did they know that I was up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning working on my business. And sometimes, you have to make the better decision. It wasn't about the work, because work is something that we're going to work no matter what. I want to thank the co-workers and the managers that pulled me into the meeting and said, no one wants to work with you. It was an eye-opener. It was an awakening. But it's one thing for someone to tell you they don't want to work with you, but then it's another thing when they show you they don't want to work with you. And I realized in the midst of everything that was going on, working diligently to show up and do the work, the best of our ability, to work through challenges, personality conflicts, to work through problem solving and still service the public and still go through days where you're out of time and you are not only getting paid for the time that you're out because you don't have no time, but then paying time back at the beginning of the year because of the time that you took, still leaving you short. All of that taught me to become resilient. It taught me to stand firm in my beliefs. It taught me to stand firm to my convictions. And if I wanted something, I was going to have to be the one to make it happen. Now, although all those things took place over the 17 years, I still have those that I value, appreciate, and enjoyed working with. And we were a perfect team. We got the job done. And I realized that's where my grief came in at. Because now I'm living a new routine and I'm trying to establish myself in my business. I'm trying to bring information and share it with all those that could benefit from it. I'm still growing and developing because this journey isn't over, just like you are. Making a decision to become a business owner really began as a decision just to earn another income resource. I needed something to subsidize my income because the way my life was set up with all the family things going on, and family over everything, it's not just what we say, it's really what we do. I can't remember ever working a job where I did not put my family first. I didn't care. If I was needed in my family by me being the big kahuna, the chief matriarch, and the breadwinner in the family, it was imperative that I show up, not only for myself, but I also show up for my children when they were in need or if they needed me, because that was very important. We were a triad, the three of us. So the team doesn't work if we're all not doing our part. And if somebody's having complications, I have to stop to do what I got to do to come over and help them through their complications or whatever it may be. Life growing pains, because when you raise a family, we're all going through life growing pains. The children can't wait to grow up and be grown so they can do what they want to do. You can't wait for them to grow up and be grown and do the right things and do what they want to do. So they're interdependent of you and not so dependent on you. But as a parent, you're always going to be a parent, whether they're interdependent or not, interdependent or dependent. You're still going to be a parent. But the decision that I made, those steps that I took in 2016, I knew they were going to lead me somewhere. I had no idea where they were going to lead me. But they led me here. And now as I work through grasping and holding on to the memories that I have, as well as continuing to nurture and cultivate and love on my family and still make it do what it do, whether income's coming or whether income's not coming. I realized that nobody has the right to impede upon anyone else's life in no way, form, or fashion. And in the 4 agreements, we talk about the smoky mirror, right? And how, what did I say the smoke was? Hold on. I don't want to get it wrong because that part was very profound to me. But I have so much going on here. Let me see. Hold on. Give me a minute. Marked it. I hate to mark up my books because when people borrow them, I don't want them to think that it's okay for them to mark up my stuff. Well, he talks about how the smoky mirror, and how the smoke is sometimes in the way of what we really see, and how what do we like what we see in the mirror, or what is the reflection that we see? And although all the smoke and stuff is in the way, right, I still was able to look at myself in that mirror. And at the end of the day, no matter what I was going through, I had to be able to look in that mirror and say, do you like who you're being right now? Do you know who you are? Do you know whose you are? What is your life purpose? And I answer every last one of those questions. My faith in God, the Creator, and the relationship that I've been building with God for the 54 years of my life has gotten stronger and stronger, so that in my still moments, I can find peace. I can actually hear his voice and hear him guiding my steps. And I also can feel him tugging me too when I'm going in the wrong direction. But, the wonderful thing about the relationship with God is that God will allow you free will and determination to go on and do what it is that you want to do. If you're hell-bent on not following his direction, he won't let you go on and experience it and let you go through what you're going to go through until you come on back humbly and say, okay, now I'm ready to listen and obey and do what your will is for me, God. And this situation here is the same way. I'm so grateful now, I don't know, people go through different things, breakups, losing a child, losing your parents, life transitions, period. Life transitions. You may be moving from one location to a whole nother location where you know nobody, and you have to start all over again. Embrace that change. Embrace what God has in store for you. Some of the steps are going to be hard, but in those hard steps, you're going to learn valuable lessons. The most valuable lesson you're going to learn is that you are so awesome and that you have everything that you need to make it in this life. And no matter what comes your way, you will overcome the challenges in your life. When you look at our health and wellness, you have to look at it as a whole, mentally, physically, emotionally. And how does that impact your life? What are you telling yourself? What is the mindset? Are you telling yourself that you got this? You can do this? If you come across a challenge, do you know how to work through that challenge until you overcome it? Or do you give up and say, hell with it? This is just how it's going to be. I don't have nothing else to do. You know, this is how life is supposed to be. It's always this way. It was this way back in the day. It's this way now. No, life truly is what you make it, darlings. It really is. You're more capable of doing so much more, regardless of what the naysayers say, because people always got something to say when they don't know what you're really doing, especially when you get quiet and you minding your business. Because when you mind your business, you don't have time to mind other people's business because you're too busy in your own business. It was a time when, what's the best way I can say it? Okay, Rev. Hey, Rev, good morning. I don't know if you're watching or not, but thank you for all that you do, and thank you for being such a wonderful, blessed, amazing person. He would always say that I took ownership in my position and what I do. And I believe that that is so true because I don't know no other way to go. I had to be responsible as the eldest of three. So responsibility and ownership, owning up to what I do, being honest, being loyal. Not saying I don't tell little white lies, because I think we all do. Sometimes I have to the kids, because I don't want to give them too much reality at one time. I gotta ease it on them. But yeah, taking ownership. So stepping into this realm became very easy. Now, when everybody that steps in this realm, everybody's not going to move when you move. Everybody's not going to do while you're doing. But don't let that stop you. You come here for a reason. Anything that you choose for your life, you chose that for a reason. So whatever it is that you chose for your life, to improve your life, to make your life better, whether it's losing weight, to have a better relationship with your significant other or your family, to get better in your finances, taking the time to sit down and really put your business in order and fill out that will and trust and your living will, power of attorney, get all that stuff together. It's so important because it makes the journey, it doesn't make it easy to let people go that you love, but it makes the journey better when you're going through the storm. You're in the boat, the water's wavy, but the wind is changing. And if you know how to maneuver that sail, you'll be able to continue traveling the journey that you're on. So I say all that to say, but sometimes you have to stand alone. Sometimes you have to be willing to stand out from others and stand on what is your conviction. What do you stand for? What is your purpose and mission in life? My purpose and mission in life is to build sustainable families. And see, families is a very broad niche because there's so many dynamics to it. And it's very complex and complicated. And I know I can't do it alone. So I'm grateful for the resources that I've acquired over the years. Some of the people that I've met over the years have been amazing and been a driving force in my life. And I want the same for you. But it's all about your mindset, how you perceive yourself, how you view your life, and what it is that you want out of life. And if you don't know what you want out of life, it's okay. Start exploring. Get a piece of paper, start writing some stuff down. Write it down and try new things. What is your level of risk? We talked about that, right? We talked about the market economy integration, and we already know that we're part of the market economy. We are humans, so we do the labor. Without us, a lot of things would not run. I'm not saying quit your job. I'm saying work your job, but work on you, because that was the valuable lesson that I'm walking away with. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I only know what I have right now, here, today. And whatever steps I take in this day is going to move me tomorrow, or maybe within the next couple months or so. I don't know. I don't know the outcome, but I know that every day that we wake up, every day that we get a chance to do what we need to do, we get a chance to move our lives in another direction of where we wish to be. So if you're going through some storms this morning, or you're going through some life challenges, I want you to know that you are worthy. And don't let these challenges break you. Let them make you. Because you are the driving force in your life. We are all living our dreams every day. We are blessed to wake up. So if you woke up this morning, and sometimes you got to wake up in all other kind of ways. You got to wake up the mind, the heart, and the soul. Take that deep breath and exhale all that does not serve you. You're going to feel things you may not necessarily want to feel. But I pray that God gives you the strength and the power to be able to grab hold of yourself and start identifying, why am I feeling this way? What took place? What's going on? Because sometimes nothing goes on. Sometimes it's just your mind. Our minds are that powerful. You could be in one mood in 1 minute, and then the next minute be in a totally different space. But if every day that we wake, we're living our dream, whether it's the dream we created for ourselves or the dream that someone else created for us. Today, we have a choice to decide. Now, if you want to go on a life journey with me, come on. I'm here to accept you, show you the way. I've been doing it for my whole life. I feel like this is so natural to me, because being the oldest child, being responsible for my siblings, and then just the way my life went, the whole human services field, from childcare to geriatrics. And each person that I've ever come in contact with, I made sure I sprinkled some seeds on them, some seeds of positivity, some seeds that Don't give up hope, because this is just temporary. This is just the circumstances right now. How we go? What can we do? Let's sit down. Let's make a plan. What we need for our life. Let's see where we at. Let's see where we at, so we can know where we're going. Because if you don't know where you're at, you don't know where you're going. Not only that, if you don't know where you're at, you don't know what you have. You don't know what resources you have available to you. And resources can be monetary or physical beings, because we all help one another. I want to thank you, and I know I'm coming to you fast. Uh, excuse me, I'm getting a little dry this morning. Coming to you fast and coming. I hope that you found value out of some of this, because no matter what you go through in life, we all going to go through something. But guess what? It's either going to make you or break you. And a real true diamond goes through some pressure. You got to withstand some pressure in order to get to where you are. Not only is there pressure, there's some sanding that got to get done to smooth the edges off. So if you're not quite perfect, it's all right. You are not required to be perfect. You're just required to show up and do the best that you can, the best of your ability, and bring someone else on that with you. So I invite you to join us. And I thank you for it all, because at the end of the day, your life is serious business, and only you can live it. So start living life today. Start right where you are, right with where you have. Make a decision as to where you're going to take your life from here. Because 5-10 years from now, it's going to look so different. And with that being said, know that you are a winner from the time you were received in your mother's womb, and you were born with all that you need to make your life a success. Have a wonderful, blessed, amazing day, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. See you tomorrow.